What happens when justice takes a dark turn? These infamous court cases reveal the devastating consequences of legal failures, where truth was overshadowed by error. Here are 10 courtroom battles that went catastrophically wrong. 1. The Scottsboro Boys, 1931. 9 black teenagers were falsely accused of raping 2 white women on a train in Alabama. With no credible evidence, they were subjected to rush trials by all-white juries, resulting in death sentences for 8 of the boys. The case went through numerous appeals and retrials over 2 decades, becoming a landmark in exposing racial bias in the U.S. justice system. 2. The McMartin Preschool Trial, 1983. Accusations of child abuse at a California daycare escalated into one of the longest, costliest trials in U.S. history. Wild claims of satanic rituals and secret tunnels emerged without solid evidence, fueled by parents and media hysteria. Though charges were dropped, the accused faced ruined reputations, exposing the dangers of recovered memory therapy and flawed investigations. 3. The Central Park Five, 1989. 5 teenagers, 4 black and 1 Hispanic, were coerced into confessing to the assault and rape of a jogger in Central Park. Despite contradictory confessions and no physical evidence, racial bias and media frenzy led to their wrongful convictions. After years in prison, the real perpetrator confessed in 2002, and they received a $41 million settlement. The emotional scars and societal impact of the case remain a stark reminder of systemic racism. 4. Casey Anthony Trial, 2011. The disappearance and death of 2-year-old Caylee Anthony captivated the nation. Her mother, Casey Anthony, faced murder charges after damning evidence, including a 31-day delay in reporting Caylee missing and suspicious internet searches. However, her defense convinced the jury there wasn't enough to convict, leading to public outrage and scrutiny of how circumstantial evidence is weighed in court. 5. The O.J. Simpson Trial, 1995. O.J. Simpson's trial for the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman became the trial of the century. Despite DNA evidence linking him to the crime, his defense focused on police misconduct and racial bias, leading to his acquittal. The televised trial captivated millions, exposing racial tensions and celebrity influence. Years later, Simpson was found liable for the deaths in a civil trial, but maintains his innocence. 6. George Stinney Jr., 1944. At 14, George Stinney Jr. became the youngest person executed in 20th century America. Accused of killing 2 white girls in South Carolina, he was convicted in a trial lasting just hours and executed within 83 days. With no evidence and a lawyer who mounted no defense, his case exemplified racial bias. In 2014, his conviction was posthumously vacated, acknowledging the grave injustice. 7. The Amanda Knox Trial, 2007. American exchange student Amanda Knox and her boyfriend were accused of murdering her roommate, Meredith Kercher, in Italy. Knox spent 4 years in prison as prosecutors pushed a narrative of jealousy and sexual motives, despite unreliable evidence and flawed police tactics. Acquitted in 2015 after multiple appeals, her reputation was ruined by the media storm. 8. Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey, 2005. Stephen Avery, exonerated after serving 18 years for a crime he didn't commit, was later accused of murdering Teresa Halbach. His nephew, Brendan Dassey, was also implicated after a coerced confession. Their convictions, featured in Netflix's Making a Murderer, raised concerns about police misconduct, flawed forensics, and a broken justice system. 9. The Rodney King Trial, 1992. When 4 LAPD officers were filmed brutally beating black motorist Rodney King, the world expected justice. Instead, their acquittal sparked the 1992 Los Angeles riots, causing over 50 deaths and billions in damages. The case highlighted systemic police brutality and the justice system's failure to hold law enforcement accountable. A later federal trial convicted 2 officers, but the damage to public trust was lasting. 10. The Salem Witch Trials, 1692. In Colonial, Massachusetts, fear and superstition fueled the execution of 20 people and imprisonment of over 100 others for witchcraft. Based on spectral evidence and paranoia, The trials tore apart communities. Today, the Salem witch trials serve as a stark reminder of how fear and ignorance can lead to gross miscarriages of justice, with countless lessons on due process and rational inquiry. Let us know which of these cases shock you the most. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into history and justice.